Hi, everyone. This is Tara Peyerl, owner of The Light Compass, a company dedicated to expanding humanity to find their lights.
Hi, this is Andy Spyros. I own Intuitive Business Guides, and I work with successful entrepreneurs who have reached some sort of ceiling or block and help them move past it so they can experience greater success, wealth, and well-being. And today, you're listening to the second premiere episode. Actually, it's a preview episode of our podcast, Dirty Words of Wisdom. Following up our quickie of last week, we are going deeper. So this podcast's titled Deeper, Baby. Oh yeah, right there. And we are going to talk about three things. First of all, why words are dirty in a deeper way. We'll talk about the only type of cleaning I do and why it's great to clean up words and why that's so freaking hot.
So lean in, team, lean in. This is going to be a fun one. Okay, so words by themselves aren't dirty. It's the meaning that we attach to them. Right, Andy?
Yeah. And I think the bigger piece of that is that you and I are really trying to address an emotional charge that people have in a word. And it usually comes from some meaning they've put on it, right? That they don't really know. We all agree, as we talked about in our quickie, that we all agree on the meanings of certain words. But usually there's a story behind that or some place experienced it that makes you have that kind of cringeworthy, as you, Tara, so beautifully say, like, my mom's looking over my shoulder, like when I hear her say that word.
Yes.
And I think the other important part is there's so much else to communication. I mean, any speaker will tell you that words are only 7% of any form of communication. There's nonverbal, there's tone of voice, but
there's energy of the word. Yes.
Yeah.
And the body and the connection of the word to the person you're speaking with. Yes.
Right. And what we're really talking about is the emotional charge that comes up for you. And really what we're talking about is what comes up for me. I'm talking about what comes up for me. Tara, you're talking about what comes up for you.
Yes.
And then you, the listener, can decide if you relate to that and where you relate to that and go from there. We also speak from the point of view of our clients, what we see our clients having emotional charges around and really trying to unhook some of that kind of meaning that's been placed on it.
Yeah. And I love that. And I think that word is sort of the key to a story that we tell ourselves or a belief that we have inside of us, that if we don't feel that cringe or we don't feel that kind of gut feeling around it, we can't go deeper into it and resolve it. So Andy and I will be talking about how we're going to resolve those words for ourselves in the hopes that that would be the lens through which you can start to expand your version or your vision for that word and what kind of feeling or emotion it's eliciting in you, and then clean it up.
Totally. And I think that words are the easiest gateway to some of the deeper issues. And for me, they're fun. Like, I would much rather have a word be dirty and have an emotional charge and go, oh, I got a story to clean up around that than like get in a car accident or have a health issue or have some other kind of drama. Like, if a word is charged, I'm like, oh, thank God, like I can take the easy route. So I'm all about I'm all about the easy route.
The path of least destruction, right?
The path of least destruction, exactly.
Exactly.
So should we talk about the only type of cleaning I do, Tara?
Yes, let's do, Andy. I'm leaning in.
Lean in. I don't do windows. I don't do toilets, but I do clean up words. So here's some of the ways that I personally clean up words. Tara and I have come up with a great acronym, CAR. So C stands for compassion, A stands for awareness, and R stands for reframe. So my first line of attack is often compassion. And it's twofold, because it's compassion for myself for having a charge around the word at all. And that, for me, often that comes first. I'm prone to self-judgment. So I kind of know I do that. And I slather on, I get my compact out and just slather a little self-compassion on me.
I love it.
And then I can move on. And then I often use compassion toward the other person, because maybe I have some judgment and I think, well, I'm going to send them a little compassion, put myself in their place, and take the edge off of it from that point of view.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add?
I love that space that creates too, Andy. If you can hold compassion for yourself and another, then you're just creating this space where something can be created instead of destroyed. Right.
Right. That's so true. I love how you put that. And that's really, why are you and I doing this? We're doing this to create greater connection, and open space opens the space for connection in that.
Yes.
So I love how you put that when we can access compassion for ourselves and others, or even one of them, just like 1 out of 2, 50% isn't bad in this case. I'll take 50%, a little compassion for me or for them. Exactly. And that will totally opens the space around the word, and it can allow the conversation to continue. So A is for awareness, which is an awareness actually that there is a charge on the word, and maybe even awareness on why it might be charged, that you might have an awareness that it's a story that you told yourself, or an experience that you had, or even in certain circumstances, the context that it's in. So maybe the type of person that's saying it, or where you're hearing it might kind of trigger you. So all those things are part of the new awarenesses, so that you can go deeper.
Yeah. Yeah. Right there.
Yeah. Right there. More.
No, I think that's a really good point. And, and then the last one's reframe, right? So reframing it, and I like how you talk about this, Andy, how you reframe it to not have a charge. You
mean you like how I basically just change other people's words in my mind when they're speaking to me? Is that what you like about it? I think most people would think that's not very good listening.
Back to me.
But for me,
let's bring the focus back to reframe, just focusing back on Andy.
That's right. So really what I do, what you like so much about me, more, is that I literally, if someone uses a word that I find is like charged for me, I will just substitute another word so that I can hear them. So it's like a little personal detour that I have it take. Like it goes into my little black box, it gets changed, and it comes out in something that I can totally digest, so that I can be more present and aware for that person, and not just like totally X them out. Because I think you and I have talked about that sometimes it can feel like that you can close off. So
yes,
that's how I tend to reframe things. Sometimes I'll reframe things contextually if I realize that, if somebody else said this, it wouldn't bother me. So then sometimes I put it through the filter of, what if so-and-so were saying this? Yes. And then I can receive it a little bit better.
Right.
So that's the type of cleaning I do. I love to do that cleaning. I'll do that cleaning all day long. Okay, Tara. So let's talk about why that's so fucking hot.
Cleaning up those words. Why it's so hot.
Cleaning up those words is so hot. So for me, first and foremost, it just allows me to open up greater connection with people, and I can really actually hear people. And really what happens for me when someone uses a dirty word, especially if it's really highly emotionally charged for me, is like I have the spinning red alarm light that's like out of some kind of science fiction and then there's like metal doors that close down all around me, and there's just like no one's getting in and no one's getting out.
Right.
And
that's
really not a great
point. I think that happens for all of us. And if we're all walking around armored up, that is a huge barrier to connection and expansion, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much like a complete barrier. I mean, short of me, which this is my other MO, is I literally, Parks and Rec fan will understand, want to leave the conversation. So when that happens, when I can have some tools so that I don't armor up, or I'm thinking about, leaving the room, I can then open to really be with the person and then hear what they have to say, and then not only communicate but connect on a really deeper, on a much deeper level. Whereas before I was just not happening.
Yeah. Or it could be like the fight or flight, right? You could also be really defensive and have a confrontation about it, which isn't, what you want either, as you're connecting with someone.
I think that's a brilliant point, that when we're armoring, we're either armoring for protection or for actual attack.
Yeah.
And combat, right? So total combat. I'm getting in my tank. I'm going to take you down. I'm going to take you down. So that's what really comes up for me, is the greater connection. And then the other piece for me is really opening myself to somebody else. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not armored for defense. I'm really open to someone else to say, this is me. And not, this is like the cardboard cutout of me. Like, this is the thing that I want you to see of me. Like, hand puppet of me over here. Yes, with my perfect hair and lipstick and all that stuff. Not, and not like another persona of me, which could be, the mom me or something like, not from this, place of persona, and a place of like, this is who I am. And I've got a whole wealth of things going on for me and inside, and I have various facets to my personality, and I'm willing to, when I'm really present, the way I feel, it's like this gift. It's like me holding out this precious gift and saying like, here's me. Like, this is the most precious thing I have to give anybody. It's me. And there's nothing, to me, there's nothing hotter than that when someone does that for me.
Oh, I love it.
Like, be still my beating heart.
Right. Because Brene Brown actually talks about this when she talks about the power of vulnerability, that vulnerability is the first thing we look for in someone else and the last thing we want someone to see about ourselves. But you opening like that has, even in our relationship, has allowed me to open like that and present myself in an authentic way, which is scary until you feel safe, right? And then I think that's what's caused this expansiveness between us. And though we have different experiences in life, I think that how we perceive things has expanded because of opening to each other's experiences and truth, right? About who you are, about who I am. And it's allowed us to create this podcast, which I'm hopeful is going to allow other people to have that same expansiveness on their own terms, in their own way.
I love that. I love how you put that, because this is one of the many things I love about you, is that you not only honor yourself, you not only honor me, you honor everybody you come in contact with, that everybody has their own truth. And I do that as well. You speak it so beautifully and eloquently. And that's really, I think, the whole piece of vulnerability. We didn't start out, being totally open. We connected rather rapidly. And really, it was that vulnerability, a lot of the deeper sharing that we did, and the safety that we created for each other, that helped move our relationship very quickly, really deeply, and for us to both be stepping out in this particular way, which is vulnerable for both of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we are really showing all of us here. We're not hiding the prudes. We're not hiding the prudes, and we're not hiding the dirty parts of us either. Everyone gets to see the full spectrum of our living, right? The highs, the lows, the nice, the bad.
It reminds me of one of my favorite quotes that, it's something like, I don't remember who said it, but they said, don't compare your life to someone else's highlight reels, right? I think about the movie trailers. Like, you see these movie trailers and you're like, wow, they have it all together. Then you watch the movie and you see them go through like that really deep, dark place and come back out. And I think that's what this is about. It's seeing us not completely perfect and polished, but real. So that...
Yeah, and with great hair.
Annie does have really great hair, so I just want to it's some fantastic gestures. So
that's right. So if you're totally listening, you really actually have to think, because Tara, as my friend put it, it's not it's not going to sound like a compliment. Could I say this, Tara?
Yeah, you totally can.
It's not going to sound like a compliment, but it is. My friend said, Tara, she saw the video, she goes, Tara is so perky, I could slap her. But it's a total compliment. So if you're listening on the podcast, you should really check us out on video. So to really circle back, because right in that moment, like in that whole 60 seconds or however long that was, we did a whole 360. We were serious, we were deep, we were real, and we were funny. And that was just a microcosm of the bigger way that we live our life, that it's a flow. Like we're not sitting here saying, we're funny all the time, although I'm pretty much funny a lot.
Although that's largely true. But
although that's largely true. But I think I know for a fact for me that there's such a tenderness inside that I like to express. And I know for you as well, that's the piece that I personally want that for everybody. And I think that to unlock all those pieces through the fun of words, like this does not have to be hard, right?
Right.
Let's just say it can be easy and it can be fun, and it doesn't have to be hard. And I think even if just one person, although I'm hoping there's a bigger legacy here, that if there's just one person that goes, oh, look, they can do it. Look, they're, they have what they have and they're doing what they're doing and they're really authentic and real. Yeah. They're willing to share themselves, and I can share myself with people too.
Yeah. And write that book or run that triathlon or do whatever it is that you have in your heart to do. Right. Yeah. I think that's a beautiful point.
Totally. I think that's really important. Okay, Tara. So I'd like to say, let's wrap this up, but really we're all about unwrapping. Nothing gets wrapped up in a bow here. We're going to get a little messy, a little dirty. That's basically, we're opening up a conversation. But we'll wrap up what we discussed today, which is why words are dirty, the only type of cleaning I do, and why it's so hot to clean up words.
Yes. And we would love to know, as you listen to this, what's coming up for you. What words are bubbling up as dirty words for you as you heard more of a expansive look at that. And Andy and I have a lot of great dirty words on tap, but we are making room at the bar for you to pull up your and bring your glass and tell us your dirty words. So join us in our Facebook group called Dirty Words of Wisdom. I know it's hard to find. Yeah. You can do it.
And check out the link below, because we'll probably have the link below.
Click the link below. Let's get dirty.
Yeah, let's get dirty. Tell your friends.
All right. Thanks, everyone.